What is
Hola,
beautiful people?
the beautiful people, the beautiful people.
Should have played that song in the at the open wheel showdown. Some of the songs they had on it was like, yeah, jam out to that.
Yeah. So, what is that? Marilyn Manson?
Yeah.
God, God, I haven't heard that song in forever.
I think that guy that's on Facebook that does like the songs turned to like soul. I think he does
Oh,
that one on soul, and it you wouldn't think it hits, but it hits.
but it's,
You should go listen to it. I can't remember. I follow him on. I think I follow him on Instagram instead of Facebook, but it hits.
I've heard some of like he takes rap songs and
Yep.
flips
Rock
them, and
songs. Yeah.
yeah, you've seen the guy. Totally off topic here. Sorry, everybody, but we're just gonna go down this rabbit hole. Have
Right.
you seen the guy that takes like rock songs, or not even rock songs, but takes songs and then flips them into like hardcore metal band songs, like what they would sound like from the Deftones or Corn, stuff
Yeah,
like that?
it's like hardcore, like, what is that? Metalcore?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like what it would, yeah. If you haven't seen in that, like search it out. This he's amazing.
metalcore mashups.
Yeah, he took like Bye Bye Bye, and if it was made by like Corn or some shit like that, like it was
Oh, that
crazy.
guy, yeah.
Yes, yes.
Didn't I send you one the other day
I think you
on
did.
one of those? It was
But anyways, okay.
hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. This is Hitting the Chip with Jake and Jordan. Um, yeah, we just kind of wanted to. I know we were off last week, and what we've been doing since the season ended is kind of going down, chatting with a lot of the championship um, people, championship winners from this past season. But this episode, we're gonna kind of chit chat about the open wheel showdown because there was, I mean, it was 3 days of racing. Yeah, he's got his T-shirt on.
I
He's
gotta get my
representing.
shirt everywhere I go. I got a
That
Winchester.
is that is true. I'm a shot glass guy. Like if all these racetracks would start making shot glasses, I would totally buy one at every event. But this guy just buys T-shirts. So
It gives me a stockpile of T-shirts to wear on the show.
that is very true. There's
Or
very true.
or when we go to races, I have a lot of shirts to wear instead of like, what am I gonna bring? This V-neck T-shirt? I don't know.
See, but then you got to start rating your T-shirts like one through like, oh, this one's my fave, this second favorite.
I probably should do that because I
Uh-huh.
got a lot of them. And I'm
Yeah,
gonna
you
get
do.
more to wear.
I'm surprised your wife hasn't made you condense down your racing shirts because I'm sure it's slowly creeping up where it's like half normal, like Batman and Optimus Prime shit, and then you have your racing stuff. So it just give you a little bit of a insight to Jake's closet there. It's like little kid t-shirts and
Most
it's
most
fucking
of
racing t-shirts.
most of those T-shirts are gone now, uh, but I do have several superhero shirts left, but now they're slowly becoming just racing shirts.
And then in the very back is like all your suits and stuff you used to wear for working at
Yeah,
the bank. Yeah.
I think I have, like,
Collecting dust.
out of, like, the probably 100 shirts at least that I have, I would say 5 of them are, like, appropriate, like, "Hey, let's go out tonight," T-shirts, like, if we're just going out to dinner or whatever. I think I have, like, 5 of those.
Yeah, you have that like go-to one.
Mhm.
And then I have ones that are set up for like when I'm like in season and I've lost a few pounds. And then I have like my winter clothes, which is mainly like hoodies.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's like my fat guy clothes. Not like I'm ever slim, but still.
And I have a shit ton of golf shirts because when I was at the bank for a while, we could just wear business casual, and that's all I wore was golf clothes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, mm,
Anyways, let's get into the show. All right. Yeah, welcome to the show, everybody. Appreciate you all coming on this November 11th. Here we are, November 11th, Tuesday night.
Jesus,
Getting it's crazy. 2025 is
slowly
going
creeping to an end.
slowly. This fucking year went by fast.
I know, but we're mid-November now, and just
Yeah,
Can't believe we have a month left
in
and
the
it's
year.
Christmas and then the end of the year.
Yeah, end of the year, and then, I'm sure there's a lot of people that are watching that are in full off-season mode already,
Mhm.
but
Oh, yeah.
here we
Well
go. All right.
well,
So,
hey, if you haven't already, like, share this video, make sure people get on and watch because yeah, we're gonna talk about the open wheel showdown. Not so much talk about the results. I'm sure a lot of people following all the Colorado drivers out there saw the results, so we're just gonna kinda go over festivities that happened kinda Thursday through Saturday.
there was a lot.
Yeah, there was a lot, and then kinda give our opinions and what we thought of the races and the show itself, so, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it lot to cover, because like I said, it started from Thursday all the way through Saturday night, um, in
Shoot, some
every
of it
division.
started for Tuesday for some of the people hauling in sprint cars and modifieds on Tuesday.
Well, practice started it on Thursday, though.
Right.
Right. So, anyways, here we go. Give a little shout out to AAA Service here, and then we're gonna just jump right into it, like full core. Here we go.
I know he's down there just making noises, stalling. He just puts so much work into keeping this act going.
Hey. Yeah, Mandy's still home. Her friend's gonna pick her up like any moment. Can you do like a loop around the block or something? Perfect. Okay. Yes. All right. Thanks. See you soon.
There we go. So,
Well, I do have to say real quick, thank you to, Warren Rhodes for posting this. Yes, thank you, to all the veterans. Happy Veterans Day. Um, all of our racing, friends and family out there that were in the Army, I'm sure or military in general, excuse me. I'm sure there's a lot of them. Thank you for your service and, happy Veterans Day. So,
yes,
thank you for
there's
reminding us because
long laundry list of people we could
Mhm.
individually talk about.
Yeah,
We have family members as well.
exactly.
So, all right, open wheel showdown. I don't even know where really to begin. I guess we could just go. I mean, start from Thursday. I think even from this very beginning, the one thing that I will point out about it, and I think this was a little strategic, the price of the pit passes
Oh,
for,
yeah.
yeah, I think that was a little bit unexpected for a lot of people. I mean, the people that we talked to weren't expecting the price tag to come along with that because you already had to register, correct? And then you add that on top of it. So for us, what, like 6 people for the 3 days, it was what, like 15,
Eight.
$1,600? Huh?
Well, initially we paid for 6, but then when your wife and mother-in-law
Yeah.
showed up, it was 8.
1,800 bucks just
Yeah,
for pit passes. So that was
and
a little
today's
steep.
practice.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
Yeah,
because you had to pay for practice on Thursday,
and Friday.
um, and Friday. What? No, I thought it was just Thursday
It's
and
Thursday
fr
and Friday. You had to
and
have that
Friday.
little thing on the car to practice Thursday and Friday. That's why there was a lot of locals that showed up on Saturday alone just because they've raced there. They don't really need to take the extra 2 days of practice, and so they showed up Thursday for the one practice and, or Friday Saturday, excuse me, for the one practice and qualified and ran.
Yeah.
But if you were in the sprint car, um, was it the sprint cars and legends, they qualified on Friday. So
Yeah.
everybody that was racing in those 2 classes had to at least be there on
Well, in the
Friday.
modifieds, because they had the heat races for the modifieds on Friday too.
Ooh, true. Yeah.
Yeah. So, um, Thursday was a good day though. It started early, like it was just um 8 o'clock in the morning. Pits opened, ran all the way through the evening, all 3 days. So it was definitely tiring. It was a long 3 days. There was a lot of people that we talked to that went out and had fun afterwards. I was so damn tired from working on those damn things. Like we went home, ate, and passed out. That
That's
was it.
true. Yeah, especially Thursday. I was
Thursday was
Mhm.
crazy. So yeah, first practice for the girls,
Yeah.
both my kids, they both wrecked in first practice, and Addie had just trying to get up to speed. She went down into the rumble strips. We think that's what broke the left front. Not
It did.
entirely.
Uh, Nathan Gasser's wife had a video of Chandler practicing, and he ended up spinning out trying to avoid her, and you could see she was at the bottom, and then just you see the car hop, and it just as soon as
Came
she got
right.
back on the track, beep, right there.
Yeah, she spun around, broke the left front, and then poor Chandler Gasser, yeah, he was trying to just get out of the way and looped it around and just kind of dinged her a little bit. It wasn't really anything bad or nothing. I don't even think it damaged his car, to be honest. But yeah, so she comes in. We had radios going, communication between me and Jake and my dad and everything, and they're like, "We think we broke an axle." I'm like, "Oh crap." I was like, well, we had an extra one, so try to get that going. And I got Nora on the racetrack, and she did pretty well. Like first practice, just getting up to speed, and she went into turn 1 and 2, and same thing, spun around, same location as Addie, um, and poor Jackson Mueller, he was coming around, and they didn't say anything on the radio. They all had their receivers in and stuff, and nobody said anything on the radio. And I told her to just park it, wait for him to go by, and he just didn't see her. And he had kind of floated up a little bit, but then as soon as he saw her, he locked up the brakes, and then I mean, boom, just drilled the front end and destroyed the whole back end of his car, and the front nose was gone, and the whole right front was gone on Nora's car. We're like, oh man, this
Here I'm
me.
working on Addie's car, trying to tear apart the left front. All of a sudden, my mom, because I didn't have my headset on at that time, and then my mom comes running into the pit. Oh my God, Nora's destroyed. Her car's all fucked up. Oh my God, she's done. I'm like, well, let's just get it in and take a look at it, And so Dad continues to work on these, and then yeah, here she comes on the claw. Nose is all messed up, and just look. Thankfully, all the Bando parents from Colorado,
Mhm.
especially Chris Cox, Chris Mueller, Stanley's, Greg Dreiling, everybody came over. Even the Vanderwalls and the Dents came over, and they were like,
Mhm.
"What do you need? What do you need?" I'm like, "Well, let's figure this out. I want every eye on this car to figure out if everything's okay." And sure enough, it was just all the well, I can't really say suspension because there is really no suspension on the front end, but all the components that hold the tire together all broke and bent, and at least everybody kind of had some parts to throw in. So thank you for
Yeah.
everybody on that.
Oh,
Got 'em both back
we wouldn't have been able to get back out there, I think, had it not been for all those
after
people.
that second practice. No,
Yeah, seriously. I mean, yeah, everybody jumped in and helped out and was super thankful for that. But then after that, I mean, it wasn't in nothing crazy as far as the other divisions that day too. I mean, everybody went through practice pretty breezy. I know a couple people in the modifieds. One guy blew up and blew a
but
motor.
Rosalie Weather, I don't think she fully blew up. Something went wrong on her motor, but they ended up getting that one fixed. 56 modified. I can't remember exactly what it was, but they
The
got it
tw-
fixed. She was back out on Friday.
the 27 blew up. I know they were looking for a motor. They put something out
And
on
the
social media.
and the 11, Vossen, he
Oh yeah,
blew up too, but he brought a backup car, so good thing he had the backup car.
thank God. Um, then we move into Friday. That's same thing, just practice first thing in the morning. It was, I mean, it was awesome watching the sprint cars get around that place. I mean, you talk
Oh,
about speed, man. Yeah, it is nuts watching them go around Vegas.
just especially in the race. I wonder if, like, Doppler radar could, like, pick up the wind going around that track because
Yeah,
it would look like it'd be a damn tornado with how much wind they were pulling and circulating in that track. I mean, it was a nice night, no breeze until you get up in the stands with them sprint cars, and it's just like, holy shit!
yeah.
It's all of a sudden it got cold because of how much wind they're manipulating out there. It was nuts.
I mean, yeah, you could stand right down basically next to the fence. There was only one location where you can kind of stand, and it's not right on the fence. I mean, you're good, 15 feet back or so. But you're watching them come down the front stretch going into 1 and 2. It's just it takes your breath away, like
Mhm.
how fast they were moving. And then you had old Kyle Ray come around with his super mod, and you watch some of those other guys, they're getting around there pretty good, 13-second laps. And then Kyle Ray comes out there and he lays down like a low 12, and you're like, holy shit. He wasn't lifting until like the apex of the corner in that
Mhm.
super mod. It was nuts. Absolutely nuts. I've never seen anything like it.
And just the way that car, I mean, it rotated just like the sprint cars, and like how
Mhm.
long the wheelbase and everything was. It was just like as soon as he lifted, whoop, that car just was turning boop, right back on the throttle. Just, I mean, I don't even think it was a quarter of a second he was off that throttle.
I mean, he was so fast. He would have been very competitive in the sprint car show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he could have
He could have.
if the rules would have allowed it. Yeah.
Yeah. But, um, yeah, then they started Friday, they had, qualifying for the modifieds. Um, quite a few locals ended up making that show. Eric Reed was out there. He made the show from qualifying. Ryan Jones, um,
Nathan Gasser.
Nathan Gasser, he was really fast.
Box.
Nathan was on it. Like, he had right out the box, he was just fast, and you could see that car was just hooked up because again, we were like right there on that corner on the entry to 1 and 2, and you could see everybody else was pushing slightly, like getting through the center, and then his car, nope, down and through the corner like crazy. And then it's just at that point, it's just all motor, like whoever's
Mhm.
got the horsies to get off the corner and down the straightaway. Um, but yeah, he looked really really good early on.
Mhm.
And even Cade looked really good. He was top half of the charts all for the first 2 days too. Um, and they were working hard on that race car too. Went over and talked to pretty much all of them. I know John Seeley, he was fighting a push condition. He was pushing a little bit, from what we could see.
Yeah.
But
But he picked up some speed from
mhm,
Thursday to Friday's qualifying. So,
yeah,
I mean, I think it was well over a half a second that he picked up. So they did something to that car that went in the right direction. So that's good.
yeah. And they had their heat races to kind of set the field on Friday. We'll talk about the Bandos situation here in a
Um,
minute, but
well, and Scotty Scott was there too, and he unfortunately had some issues where oil was coming out of the valve covers, and they didn't like it and how the oil was looking when it came out, and decided not to. If it's already starting to come loose, they're not going to grenade the motor and make anything
yeah,
worse. So they decided to park it, which was probably a good idea because how
yeah,
many motors between a lot of the causes that went wrong, that was probably the best idea.
it was, and I don't blame them.
Yeah.
It's $7,500 to win versus a $30,000 motor.
Hmm.
I mean, we can get into Richie Casters too. I got a little insight to that race on Saturday, but anyways, um, so there was a huge discrepancy. It's so funny. Huge discrepancy over the bandos. This started right from the get-go, from first practice on Thursday till Friday. So Friday, the officials came around, and for all of you that don't know, they have rev boxes in a bandolero. So it maxes out at a certain RPM, and it's just like running an MSD box with a chip in it. Okay, it just hits the rev limiter and and it
And
maxes
there,
them out.
and the only place you can get them is INX.
Eh,
And who was running the rules on this? INX.
Inex.
Keep going.
So the rule book itself, like for the open wheel showdown, was all it said was follow the 2025 rule book for Inex. Everybody did. So there are certain rev boxes that were made for a short period of time while ago. I don't know, 10 years ago, 8 years ago, however long ago. I don't know for certain. but there was a certain amount of them made that would, when you hit the chip, it would only drop the RPM down a certain amount. So when it hits the chip, it's going fluctuating back and forth. Well, these certain boxes would only allow it to dip down like 200 RPM or 100 RPM, however much it is. And then the newer boxes, they drop down like 400 or 500 RPM. So it creates a little bit of an advantage for kids.
And you
Okay.
can physically hear the difference
Oh, you can.
in the two boxes.
And I didn't know this, but apparently we have one in Nora's car. And when we went out and practiced at CNS, a month ago, Ben Stanley heard it. And he's like, dude, you got one of those boxes. I didn't even know that we had one of them. And then you hear Addie's, and it's one of the newer style ones, ba 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 ba, and it bogs down, right? So, long story short, there was a group of people that were pissed that some of these kids had these certain boxes and they wanted them outlawed. And so they decided to go off of Thursday's first practice. The top 10 from Thursday's first practice, they were going to switch out everybody's like their chip box, and they were going to put in boxes that they had, and they only had like 12 of them. So they went around to each one of the kids that were fast time in Thursday's practice and made them switch boxes. I mean, you can imagine the uproar. There's people that were just pissed. And I understand it, the nature of it. I understand trying to create fairness. But what they ended up doing was not all of the kids had showed up yet. Like we knew a bunch of the local kids were not there, and they were swore up and down, yep, everybody's here. Everybody's here that's racing. They're all here. We're like, are you sure about that? Yep.
Mhm.
Okay. So Friday comes. Yes, they make everybody switch these boxes. Bunch of people were pissed. Liam and their crew, the Dents, Chris Mueller. I thought he was going to kill that official. To be quite honest with you, when he came up to, because Jackson's car was pretty well destroyed. The whole back clip was gone when he hit Nora. So Chris is trying to put Jackson's backup car together, and he's struggling. Like there's some issues with it, and they come over and they drop that on him. And he just blew up at this official, and rightfully so, because it's not even the same car, not the same motor, nothing. That's going back in
Well,
this car.
he put the motor from the other car, the first car, into the backup car.
Right, but it's not the same chip box that was in that
Well,
car.
and the electrical was different too.
And the electrical, yeah,
the biggest issue he was having is that all the electrical is different.
was completely different car.
Mm-hmm.
So long story short, what they should have done was waited until after qualifying, and then the top 10, top 12, whatever from qualifying, then give them the boxes to switch out. Right? Like that would have been the perfect move to do rather than doing it based off of Thursday's very first practice.
Yeah.
And because there were kids that were outside the top 10 that ended up squeaking into the top 10 too, right? They just gained speed, gained confidence.
And it's just funny that out of what, let's see, there's Vanderwall, Mueller, Madison, Liam, and then Addie and Nora. So out of 7 bandoleros from Colorado, 5 of them had to
switch boxes.
Right. So it's like half of the freaking top 10 were all Colorado drivers, and they were literally like, I think the only one that was like close pushing not being in the top 10 was Madison, and she was still like what, 7th or something like that. It was like Liam,
7th or 8th, yeah.
Mueller, or Jackson, some other kid, Vanderwall. I mean, they were all like those 3 were in the top 3 or 4. And then, I think like 1 or 2 down, it was Madison.
Oh, and Isaac Mead.
Isaac Mead.
Mead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he was fast. And that poor kid.
Chandler. So 8. So yeah, 5 of the 8. Forgot about Chandler. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I forgot about Chandler. But poor Isaac Mead, man, he wrecked multiple times. One time he was passing. He was racing a car in practice and got up underneath them, and they were going by Addie to lap her. And he just I think he just put too much wheel input into it, and then it snapped on him, and then he overcorrected and spun him out.
Well, I think what happened was when Addie went high, because I told her go high, let those kids go low. And I mean, she was well out of the way.
Oh yeah.
The car he was chasing, like, went with Addie and then drastically slowed down. So I think he turned the wheel down to avoid rear-ending this kid. And I think, yeah, at that point, just got it sideways and just trying to correct out of it, and it just ended up
Backed it into the
back
fence.
into the fence. Yeah,
Yeah.
poor kid.
So yeah, that poor kid, he wrecked. What was that? That was on Thursday. Then he wrecked again on Friday. And I think he made it through on Saturday unscathed. Finally, his family, they worked on that car freaking for 2 days straight.
After Thursday, they literally rebuilt the entire car.
Yeah. Those little bandos, man, I have a love-hate relationship with those damn things. Like I really do. They suck.
They're fun for the kids, but they suck for the adults.
They suck for the adults. So anyway, so there's a little bit of kind of like the insight to the bando stuff. And then Saturday came and it just created a whole whirlwind of shit. And parents fighting with each other. One kid that got given or was given a box to run from the officials went out there, went slower, and they decided before qualifying that they were going to switch it. So they went back to his original box, went out there and qualified. They heard it, and then they DQ'd the kid. And then he ended up racing because they were like, screw it, we're just going to run this box that we want to run.
Mhm.
So it's just like, it was a whole
Well, and then
ordeal
especially
based around these boxes.
When I say this, they took forever to throw cautions.
They
And
did.
it's not just like, oh, a spin out and then, oh, okay, now we throw it. It's like, oh, spin out. Let's just let the cars run 1 or 2 laps. And then, oh, shit, we should probably throw the caution flag.
Yeah.
It's like you got cars in the lanes, especially when big cars are going too wide and there's a car in the second lane. You should probably throw the fucking yellow flag.
Yeah.
Especially the classes that only have race receivers and don't have spotters. You should probably throw the goddamn caution flag right away. And bandos, especially, like when they spin out, they take forever to try and get their speed back up. So it's like you got a car stuck up in the second lane. Like, if they're spun down on the bottom, it's whatever. They're out of the way. Especially if they're kind of like on a straightaway down the bottom, that's fine. But when they're up in a turn, coming out of the corner, and they're stuck in the second lane, throw the goddamn yellow flag. Because there was a couple cars, including Eddie. It takes them forever to get the speed back up because of the gear we're running and the clutches.
Yeah.
And a lot of people in the pit meetings I heard each day were complaining about that. Not just bandos, it was every class.
Well, and on the radio too, listening to the Legends races too. They were just not very vocal on the radio at all. Like when there was incidences, they, like you said, they were delayed on yellow flags. And then it wasn't until well afterwards, like, oh, you got a yellow, slow down, everybody. They didn't even say where the wreck was.
No.
Right? Like there was nothing. It was, oh, hey, car spun out on the back stretch. Everybody go high, right? Like, or something like that. That's what you were kind of expecting.
Slow down.
Yep. Caution's out. Slow down, everybody. Slow down. And you're like, holy shit, at least relay some more information, a little bit, something. Because, yeah, it was kind of a mess from that standpoint. And then you get into, we'll talk about the heat races and stuff first, because, I mean, they were pretty good, I thought, overall, between the sprint cars and the modifieds. They had some damn good races down on Friday night.
Yeah.
Do you want to elaborate? Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say that it's cool that they, especially the modifieds, they had like 3 heat races. So they did the top 8 redraw race. I don't exactly remember what they called it, but the top 8 from qualifying, they redrew for their starting order in the redraw race, and then wherever they raced and finished, that's where they started for the main event on Friday on the A main. And then B mains, which I still didn't really technically understand exactly how they did this, because they said the top 14 in qualifying make the race, the A main. And then they were starting 24 cars or 26 Either way,
26. Doesn't matter.
doesn't matter.
Doesn't
There were
matter.
at least 8 remaining cars that needed to 8 to 10 remaining cars that needed to make the A main. And so they had like a odds qualifier race and an evens qualifier race for their B main or well, their heat races. And like if you were in the top 5 of this race, you made the A main. But to me, it was like, okay, well, if you have all of the 9 through what was there was 37 cars and then 2 of them blew up, so it was like 35 cars. If you have 9 through 35 running against each other, in separate heats, obviously, if like Chris, uh, uh, gosh dang it, um, let's just say John Seeley, or not John Seeley, gosh dang it, Ryan
Ryan
Jones.
Jones.
I don't know why I wanted to call him Chris there for a second. Ryan Jones, he qualified in the top 14, right? But still was in the heat race. So if he was one of those cars in the top 5, how do you decide, okay, what's the next car that moves up to take that spot,
Right.
right? It just was confusing me. And what they ended up doing was they just moved cars from the B main the next day up into the A main if they raced up into the A main. So it was like if in the heat race you raced up into the top 5, you got the automatic berth. But if you didn't, then the B main, the remaining cars from the B main, then got the chance to try and race up into the A main. So
Yeah, it should have just been an LCQ at that
right,
point. Like if
exactly.
you weren't to me, if you made the top 14 in qualifying, right? Like just park them.
Yeah.
Run the heat races as just like it doesn't matter. Like it's just an entertainment thing if you're
Or
going to do that.
their heat race, it could be for your starting position, which I can understand that. But at that point, just run 1 through 7, or 1 through 14 odds,
Right.
evens. That's your starting spot. B main is the LCQ. Wherever you finish, that's then where you start behind the 14.
Right. I think you should just instead of doing odds and evens, just do 1 through 7 in the first heat, 7 through 14 in the second heat for your
Yeah,
position, right? And then the rest
probably a
of them are
little weird.
just in the B main. That's it.
Right.
Yeah, it was a bit confusing, and we were having this conversation with
Me and
with
Mike.
Mike Hunter trying
Yeah.
to explain it, and at that point, I had like three or four
Well,
beers and a pickle shot.
you weren't explaining it exactly in an easy 101 dummies heat race.
I had alcohol in my system. What do you
I know,
expect?
but it was just like, you're still not making any sense.
It
You weren't
made sense in my mind.
well, I don't know if I wanna get into your mind then.
But anyways, the heat races were pretty good to watch. Then they had the what was it? The top qualifiers from the sprint cars. They did like a pill draw essentially for position for to start the race. So it was what was it? The top 10, 12, top 12.
Something like that.
I think it was
Yeah.
top 12. And I'm
Yeah.
sure maybe Chris or somebody can kind of elaborate a little bit more. I forget how many there was, 12, 10, 14, whatever. They all drew a card. So started with the pole setter all the way back to the very last car. And then that was a redraw for this little special race, which I thought was really cool. Because then it just wasn't purely based off of qualifying. And if you had a really good car, it made you work for it.
Mhm.
So it was really funny because the very last car to draw the cards ended up getting the ace and started on the pole. And what was that? The 33 Montgomery? Was it Montgomery? I think it was.
I know a handful of the sprint car guys' names. But
Adam Hilton,
Adam Hilton,
Gossel,
Hussle,
Swindell,
Rhineland, yeah, Swindell, uh,
Santos.
Williamson, or
Yeah, you
Willison.
didn't even get
Willison.
Williamson.
Willison.
You didn't get that right. That's
Gold
so funny.
jacket, green jacket, who gives a
Who
shit?
gives a shit?
Oh.
So they made him fight for a dash race just for position to start on Saturday.
Yeah. I liked it because it
Mhm.
kinda gave you a glimpse of those top whatever it was, uh, who's gonna probably put on a good show the next night. Like,
Mhm.
there's always those, the ones that the rest of them that make it, um, you never know what could happen. I mean, we'll talk about it, but Bobby Santos went all the way back, came back up to the front. So uh, it just at least kind of gave you a glimpse of race setup wise
Mhm.
who is going to look good for the A main.
And
So,
clean air was so vital there
oh yeah.
for those cars. So vital.
Hmm.
Yeah, because Bobby Santos, I mean, he's been just winning everything this year. And when he got into dirty air, he just couldn't make a move. I mean, granted,
Sure.
that place is just really hard no matter what,
Yeah.
but still, top 12 pole shuffle.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I thought it was badass on Friday night. It like you said, it sets a stage for Saturday of what was kind of to
And there was
come and
a
expect.
lot of fans that showed up just for the Friday night stuff. Like it,
Mhm,
it wasn't completely packed, but I would say those stands were 75% full on the main grandstands just for the Friday night heats.
mhm. It
I
was
thought it
it
was,
was it was a great crowd.
yeah,
I thought overall the whole weekend was a really good crowd. I mean, the pits were stacked.
the pits. We got yelled at, especially my father got yelled at pretty good. We got scooters to make it easy to get around, and they don't really tell you exactly where to go, and then when you go somewhere, somebody tells you one way, and then you go that way, and somebody else is like, "You can't go this way." Like, "I was just told by that guy back there. Well, I'm gonna go talk to him." Like, "Oh, which way do I need to go?"
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Yeah, because they had me going down the hot pit at one point,
yeah.
and I got sprint cars coming right at me, and I'm like, this
Oh,
is a bad idea.
yeah.
This is not
Just pull
good.
over and stop and
Yeah.
on the fence.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm a
And then
rookie.
dad's going down the hot pit, and then he's crossing over right where they come off the
Oh
track
god.
and turn left. And, oh, man, this security guy got on a four-wheeler and hauled his ass over to yell at him. Like, "Oh, you know what about, man? I'm just trying to get to my bando pit." Like, "Go over there."
Just trying to get to my bando pit. Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh man. Uh oh, hold on. I gotta bring this up. Anybody know how the sprint car driver that blasted the wall in the main event is doing? I'm not 100% sure. But man, that was a hard lick.
Scott said he posted he was good, just sore.
Oh fuck. Yeah, that was one of the nastiest wrecks I've ever seen. I mean that
He lucky the car came down on the ground before it went
mhm.
to the wall.
Had it been like 6 feet closer to the wall, he would have been up in the fence.
Mhm.
Mhm. When he went over that tire. I mean, no joke. Had it been 6 feet closer or further down the straightaway,
That's
up in the fence.
mhm.
And well, it was funny enough because I was talking about that with Nicole while the heat races were going on, and we're sitting like 4 rows off, like 4 rows up. And she's like, "This is awesome." I'm like, "This scares me, man."
Yeah.
She's like, "Why?" I'm like, "Because they're going so
They're showing her
fast."
YouTube videos of sprint cars flipping
Yeah.
into a fence, and she'll be like, "Let's go higher."
Yeah, exactly. And at that point, I was like, we need to just move up, just in case.
Yeah.
Like, you just never know.
Mhm.
Granted, it's pretty hard. I mean, it's not hard, but it's more unlikely in a asphalt situation than a dirt situation.
Yeah, digging the
But
tires into
still,
the ground and stuff on their flip.
but for how fast they're going, man, holy shit.
Those wings upside down become very upward aerodynamic.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But anyways, continue
Saturday.
on to Saturday. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I mean, day started off pretty good. I think everybody got one practice, if I remember right, at
Yeah,
least a 30-minute practice. Um, and then the
I think so.
bandos qualified, and
They had one practice qualified.
yeah, was there any other cars that qualified on Saturday except for the bandos?
The legends? The legends.
No. Oh no,
Supermods.
supermods qualified right after we qualified. So yeah.
That's right.
Um, so yeah, we quickly learned that tire pressures are a huge factor in a big track with bandos. Like at CNS, they matter, but they're not as pivotal as a big track. Because when you're trying to get the most amount of wheel rotation as possible, you want them to be big. And when you have a lot of air pressure in them, you got to get them hot. and when they're not hot, they don't grip very well.
No.
And poor Addie, where she's finally getting faster, and I'm on the radio with her during qualifying, like, "Easy on the wheel, getting in a turn, easy on the wheel. The car tires are, they're cold. We just gotta get a lap in there, and they'll get warmed up, and then, whoop, spun out, and caution, you gotta get it going again, and, whoop, next lap,
Did it
did it
again.
again." It was like, "Okay, well, now these tires have to be warmed up since she spun out twice." And thankfully, the track, because you only get 3 laps, so 1 warm-up lap, and then your green, white, and checkered. And thankfully, since she had spun out and caused 2 cautions, they allowed them to do
The
3
full
the
3.
full 3 laps, right?
Yeah.
And she finally got the car where she was just nice and easy on the wheel, and I'm like, let it eat, just let me hear that chip." And she finally got on the chip, and she qualified in her best time, and Nora as well qualified on her best time. And I think, out of all the Colorado drivers, they all ran their fastest lap, during qualifying, if I remember right.
Except for Liam and Jackson.
Mm,
Jackson
yeah.
ran a 19:1 in that first practice on Thursday.
Well, that was because of that other chip.
Right. Well, and because of the car, it was
Oh, that car too, yeah,
the car. But and I think Liam at one point I think ran a 19:0. I'm pretty sure he ran a 19:0.
probably.
So, but other than that, I think majority of them ran their quickest laps all weekend.
Yeah. And, yeah, so that was fun to see them finally get their fastest laps ever in a Bandolero. So, um, and then just to kind of move on into the sprint or the super modifieds. God, so many names on race day.
Man,
But the super modifieds, with Kyle being the fastest of them all weekend, and then I think, like Mike said in the comments, he was literally the fastest car at the track on Friday,
11:9.
11:91. So, I mean, that's hauling when you're faster than the sprint cars, uh, on Friday. So everybody was expecting kind of him to possibly get the track record, or at least get close to it. But I think the track conditions, and it got a little breezy right before
Mhm.
qualifying. And I wonder if that had a little bit to do with, there was a lot of speeds in some of them cars that they just didn't match what they had during practices in the earlier couple days. And I think he ran a 12, I mean, still he ran like a 12.2 or 12.1 or something like that.
Something like that.
But he was still over a second faster than all the other cars. So,
Yeah, he was like 7/10 because I think
oh, that's right, because Davey Hamilton Senior
did like a
think
12:7 or
like
12:8, something
yeah,
like that.
something like that. But then from there, it was like everybody was at least a second behind. 112 miles an hour on the straightaway. Whoa,
Fucking crazy.
Jesus,
It's crazy.
that is crazy.
I mean, yeah, 11 seconds around that place is, and to see it on TV doesn't do it justice at all.
No,
Doesn't do it justice.
I mean, you still
Going
look
back
past
and
the
watching
TV, but
videos. Yeah, going
it
watching
doesn't,
videos of it, doesn't even
especially when
come
they're side
close.
by side racing, doesn't do it justice.
Yeah, you have
But
to watch it in person in order to kind of fully understand how fast that car's moving. And even
mhm,
the sprint cars, like how fast they are moving. It's insane.
yeah.
Um, so talk about super modified race. He
Well, I
was
was gonna say we could go. Well, we can talk about the super modified race, and then we could talk about the B main for the modifieds.
and
Um,
legends.
yeah, but Mike, you'll have to let us know how they did the redraw for the super mods, because obviously Kyle got pole, but then he ended up starting what, 12th? He was back there.
Well, it was
8th or
outside.
12th,
I think it was
or
outside
10th
third
or 12th.
row or outside fourth
Oh, he
row.
was out till the 4th or 5th row. He had
I
a
think it
lot of
was
cars to pass.
I think it was fourth row. I think he started 8th.
Did he start 8th?
Yeah.
I don't know. Mike, let us know what they did for the redraw, because yeah, he went from first to like way back in the middle of the field, toward the end of the field. I mean, they only had 13 or 14 cars, so you know, when there's only that many cars and he's 8th, it's like you're already in the back, right? So he's
Yeah.
having to move forward. 6,
6.
because we restarted 6th.
Okay, so 3 rows.
3 rows.
3
Right,
rows.
still right in the middle of the field, right? There's a lot of talk about what happened on Facebook, and we won't get all into that. But
Yeah,
you
we
know,
will.
well, I mean, we can, but not at the moment. Kyle, if anybody knows Kyle Ray, he doesn't like going slow in anything that he has or does. He he wants speed, and you know, when you're over a second faster than everybody, you want to get out there. And he was. I thought he was at least patient, kind of in the first couple laps, but apparently he wasn't. He got into somebody kind of going through one of the. I can't remember what corner it was, one and two, I think, and got in the back of somebody, so it kind of screwed up the nose a little bit. So already kind of started off the race, aerodynamics were a little bit off on the nose and the downforce. But he quickly got up into the lead, I think after like 6 laps or something like that, 7 laps. And when he passed the leader, he had a lot of patience with the leader. I mean, he was just trying to bide his time, make the right move at the right time, and he did. And then instantly got out to like a 2-second lead within a couple of laps.
Mhm.
And then you're just working your way through lap traffic. And to me, and we even asked this in the Bando pit meeting, when you slower cars, where do you want them to go? Go to the inside. Okay, so I'm thinking now that's the consensus, obviously, with the rest of the divisions. And in the super mods, that's kind of seemed like that was the preferred lane anyway, is everybody went to the bottom. Well, some of these guys in these cars, I just don't know what they're doing, right? Because their angle going into the corner, they're like at the bottom of the track before they even enter the corner. So they're automatically just going to push up the track anyway with the speeds they're doing in the middle of the corner, right? Well, and then you got Kyle Ray running as fast as he is, and they're getting given the move over flag. It looked like this guy, whoever it was, I don't know his name, um, was trying to move out of the way. But no, that was his racing line, is go to the bottom, or wait for it to push up the track in the middle of the corner, and then just hammer down on the throttle. And Kyle gave him plenty of room. You could see he was going on the dotted lines, and the lower dotted line was the start of the second lane, which is a generous second lane. I mean, for the modifieds, the outside car, I mean, you're tight on the other car on the bottom. Both cars are almost in those dotted lines. So the fact that he was left side tires on the top of that dotted line gave a lot of room. And that car just went to the bottom and then just right in the middle corner, came right up on his left rear and just took him out. And it's just like as soon as you just see that and he spun, it's just like your heart just drops.
I couldn't
Especially,
believe it.
I
I
couldn't
couldn't
believe it.
believe it.
As soon after he wrecked, I'm still. Did that just happen? Right? Slapping yourself, pinching. Like, did that just happen? Like, you're excited and you're hopeful for Kyle,
Yeah.
and a lot of people are saying he was impatient and stuff. Could he have been more patient? Oh, definitely. He probably could have maybe backed off or went up in a third lane. But when you're racing and you're seeing that somebody's getting the move over flag, and you see them go to the bottom of the track when you're going on a straightaway, to me, okay, I'm just going to ride the top and I'm going to go around them like I normally did with all these other cars. And all of a sudden you get taken out. Like how much more patient do you really get when you see all of that and all that happening at that kind of speed?
And that's a good point because what is he supposed to do? Just like completely just pansy it around the racetrack at that point? I again, like I can see the point of like maybe you should be a little more patient, but yeah, what's he supposed to do? You're the leader. It's
Mhm.
their job as you're about to go a lap down. It's your job to get out of the way.
Yeah.
Like you're the one that's supposed to be patient and you lift early and make sure you aren't
Get
in
out.
the
Yeah.
way. And the guy, it's really funny is I've been paying a lot of attention to social media the last couple of days. And this guy, his name is Brian Schaefer. Thanks, Mike, for giving me that name. Somebody said something about it on a post and he responded and talked about how Kyle ran him over. It's like, motherfucker, you're about to go a lap down. How is you get run over when your
Looked
car
like
washes up the
Nino.
racetrack and takes out the leader?
go back to the video and go back to all the other. I mean, there was a lot of cars, even just in practice when they're out there with like 4 or 5 cars.
Hmm.
There were so many cars. They didn't know what a line was
Yeah.
or how to hold it, right? A lot of these cars, they'd go so low down going into the corner before the corner even started,
Yeah.
push up a half a lane, and then all of a sudden hammer down on a throttle. It's like, you guys are stupid. You guys
Yeah.
don't know what you're doing out there with your line. Like, if you're gonna be on the bottom, be on the bottom. That's called holding a lane.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry you forgot what that meant, but he didn't run you over. Well, yeah, he ran you over because when you went up the track, he
Yeah.
literally left rear over your right front because you went up the
Yeah.
line.
Yeah. And it's unfortunate
Yeah.
any way you look at it, because I mean, he had it in the
In
bag.
Las Vegas.
He had it in the bag and got taken out.
Yeah.
But that goes back to the question that well, not the question, but that was the comment that we were talking about earlier. And I'd love to hear from Adam's standpoint too, since he's now on watching the show. Uh, what they were saying over the receiver,
Yeah.
because at that point, like, again, the speeds are so much more. He should have been. You should have been calling him out by number at that point and been like, "Hey, I forget what number he was, 6 or 36 or whatever the fuck your number is. Hey, you need to hug the bottom, let the leader go. Lift early and let the leader go. He's coming.
Yeah. Left and left.
Leader, yeah, lift and left. Leader, take the high side. You know,
Yeah.
give us some direction at that point, because again, there's no mirrors. They got big old wings on these things. They can't see.
Well, and good point, because when, we went, was that Saturday or Friday? I think it was Saturday morning. We went over to talk to Adam, and he let me sit in a sprint car. I mean, the amount of space that they had from the top of the wing to where, like, the body kind of and the deck or the dash goes, I mean, you had, like, maybe a foot and a half
Yeah.
of open space. So I would assume in the super modifieds, like some of these bodies the way they are and the wing, probably the same deal. So who
Mhm.
knows if that guy even saw the get out of the way flag, right?
I,
So, and
I
who knows? 'Cause do
100%.
most of these people pay attention to the flag stand every
Yeah.
lap that they go by? I know
And
I sometimes don't, but I have a radio with a guy that's telling me, "Hey, 5 to go, 4 to go, 3 to go, white flag," right? So it's like,
yeah.
I sometimes forget, "Oh, shit, I should probably look up at the flag stand once in a while and see what's going on with the flag,"
And
right?
that's communication is key, right? Like we were talking about, even for young 8-year-old, 9-year-old kids,
Mhm,
communication is key. If you're not going to allow them to run any sort of radios or anything, then you, as a track, you should just make sure that it's,
mhm.
make sure
Well,
that
and
you're doing the due diligence to
with
keep people safe and in line.
those speeds, like Mike said, with those speeds, probably should have been running radios.
Yeah.
And with and I'm sorry, some of the drivers that were there, they probably should have had radios.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Well, and I mean, neither here nor there now, but we ran radios in the kids' cars, right? It was more or less to keep them out of the way of the faster kids. So
mhm,
that way they didn't get run over.
mhm,
It had nothing to do, it's not trying to create any sort of advantage for them. We knew the girls weren't going to be the fastest ones or even close to being the fastest ones, but
mhm.
we also didn't want to put them in a position where they were going to be in the way and cause a wreck.
Yeah, which we'll talk about this here in a second once we talk about the Vander race, but I had brought that up in the pit meeting. It's like, "Okay, we're just out here to get experience, get
Yeah.
our feet wet. We're nowhere near the top 5, 10 cars. What do we need to do to stay out of the way? Do you want us to be high, or do you want us to be low when the fast cars are coming?"
Yeah.
Well, typically local rules say stay low. Okay,
Okay.
we'll talk about that when it comes up in the bandos. But needless to say, for the super mods, it sucked for Kyle. Left rear hit first, slapped that wall so hard it broke basically everything holding that left part of the rear end in place, and it came up and hit him in the car. And so he was pretty sore. He had a limp to him. He doesn't think anything's broken, but I mean, when you get hit with the rear end, uh, it's gonna hurt. So I know he's doing good. Um, but he's gonna be sore for a couple days.
Well, and hats off to Richie Castor, man. He almost won that race.
Yeah.
And
What 2 laps? Last lap?
I think it was 2 laps. And I was talking to Jason Castor, and he said, I was like, man, that sucks. Like, I mean, he was running so well, and he said that the motor started getting hot.
Oh,
So he said that he wasn't pushing it as hard because the motor started getting hot late in that
yeah.
race. And again, like it's
Fine
you
line
know
of 5
fine
grand
line of
for
you
them
blow a
things sure are more than 30 grand.
oh yeah, I'm sure that's a $50,000 motor sitting in that car. So do you run that risk of blowing up for the glory? I mean, some would say yes, some would say no. I
Mhm.
mean, that's a decision you make in
Right,
the race car.
right.
So, but yeah, it sucks for him because he was you just wanted to see somebody at that point from Colorado win the fucking thing.
Mhm.
And it just that sucks. First
Yeah,
Kyle, and then Richie didn't get it and goes
yeah.
to some paid for driver.
Yeah, which he ran in the sprint cars too, so it's like
Yeah.
he wasn't even really technically gonna run it until it was like, "Oh, hey, can you go race my car?"
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway.
But it was fun watching them. It was a little, I wouldn't say disappointing, but it did kind of suck that this weekend landed on a weekend that a lot of the East Coast supermod guys were running on some other race out on the
Yeah,
East Coast. So not a whole lot of them traveled out to the open wheel showdown.
right.
So yeah, because like Jake said, I think there was only like 13 or 14 of them that
Which I
ended
thought
up.
there was plenty more that had signed up, but, um,
Um,
yeah, that kinda
okay.
sucks. I thought
Well,
there was, like,
while we're
over 20.
talking about it, I mean, I can look it up right here. So originally there was 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22.
Yeah,
22 originally signed up.
so that sucks. Over what, n at least 9 didn't show up,
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Which it happened across the board. There was a lot more signed up
Yeah.
that didn't show
Especially
up.
in the modified. Well, I mean, shoot, the sprint cars, they had over 70, and I think, what, 47 ended up
Some,
qualifying,
something like that.
like
Yeah.
that, so they had the biggest drop off, and then the modifieds, they had over 50, and I think 30, yeah, 37 ended up showing up,
Something like that. Yeah.
and then 2 ended up dropping out. Well, 3 dropped out because of issues, but yeah.
Well, even in the bandos, they had like 30 signed up, and what was it, 24?
Well, with that
24.
one kid getting disqualified,
Oh yeah,
it was 24,
20. Well,
23,
25. 25.
yeah,
Yeah, 25.
somewhere in there, yeah.
So, um, yeah, bando race. You just, I mean, they.
I It
Go
was
ahead.
cool to see 26 Bandoleros pace lapping around the track, but at the same time, you're just like, "This is gonna be a shit show." Like, I didn't want that. I don't like thinking like that because I want these kids to put on a good show, have fun, go out there and race, right?
Mhm.
You're kids, you're moving up, you're learning, you want them to go put on a show, and you want them to have them race. But as we've seen just at CNS, sometimes just stuff happens in these little cars. One little thing going at those speeds can cause a chaos effect, and it did on Saturday. Um, Poor Addie, again, we messed up. We tightened up her car, and it still wasn't good enough because first 2 laps, she spun out twice.
Well, come to find out, she had a right rear go down.
Oh, the right rear was going down, and we
Yeah,
didn't know it. So she
and we
must
didn't
have ran
know it.
over something in the pits or in staging, getting
Yeah,
on the track, something like that. We're not sure, but yeah, after the race, when we were gonna go load it,
it was
Kyle,
flat.
yeah, Kyle Ray noticed, "Hey, you guys need a new right rear?" Like, "Oh, I must." Yeah, and that was a brand new tire too. That's what really sucked. That was a
Yeah.
brand new tire. Um, but I wanna say this just 'cause uh, they wouldn't let us run radios, but we ran them anyway, because again, we didn't want them getting in trouble and staying out of the way. They're the big track for the first time, and the second time Addie had spun out, they didn't throw the caution flag right away. And when she had spun out, I was like, get on a break, get on a break. If you can, get it moving, get it all the way down to the bottom as quickly as you can. Well, they were already coming down the back straightaway when that happened, and I could see she wasn't moving yet. So they were like already in 3 and 4. So I get on the radio. I'm like, hold the brake. Do not go down there because the last thing we need is her all of
Yeah.
a sudden to just cut down right in front of
Right in
everybody.
front of
And that would
everybody.
cause a whole hell of a lot more crap. And so she did, and everybody was getting good. And I feel so bad for Madison. I'm glad they're watching because I want to say this too. I'm glad she's okay because she was battling with somebody, and both of them kind of were going high, and they didn't say anything on the radio at all. I don't even think they saw her spin until all of a sudden they were coming out of 4,
In
coming into
3,
4.
when they were in 3 is
They
when
were
they
in
finally
3.
said something
Yeah,
and flipped the light,
yeah, which at that time, they were already in 3 and 4, coming into 4 by that
doing
time, and
60 mile an hour.
yeah, these kids aren't gonna be able to slow down that quickly,
No.
right? And they just were both trying to get out of the way, and just Madison ended up getting into the wall real, real hard and destroyed her car. So I'm glad she's okay. Just heartbreak when I saw that. It was just like I got up, I threw my headset off, and I'm sorry for everybody in the stands around me. I was like, "What the fuck are they doing?" Not the kids, the
The
officials.
officials.
The
Yeah.
officials. Like
Yeah.
that was 110% on the officials on that one. I couldn't believe it. It was just like 2 kids just wrecked horribly because they decided to wait. Like, what are you waiting for? You want my niece to go flying in front of the field and take out 6 cars? Like,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, they did.
that's not it.
Yeah, they totally failed, and then, then it bunched them back up, and then they tried to get going, and, couple of them ran over thank you. Couple of them ran over each other coming to the green, and again, they didn't say anything. At that point, you look at it as an opportunity to, like, pump the kids up, like, "Hey, guys, okay, let's give each other a little bit of space. Let's try not to run each other over coming to the green flag. Let's get going here." Blah, like something. There was just like nothing on the radio.
Mhm,
And again, there was kids from 8 years old all the way to 14 years old. There's such a wide variety there.
mhm.
And they're still kids. You know what I mean? It's like, holy shit,
Yeah.
like do something.
And to me, I know there's been this speculation for the last few years about running radios with the bandos because parents will drive the
For
cars
the
for the kids,
kids. Yeah.
telling them to block or this and that. But, at the same time, to me, as a parent, if you're at least on a radio, that's wrong to tell them to block, right? But at the same time, had some parents seen that there's a wrecked car or a spun out car, or if there is an accident, they can relay car on the bottom spun out, car on the top spun out, 2 cars
Mhm.
wrecked in the middle of the straightaway.
Mhm.
Tell them where to go at that point. Like, slow down
Yeah.
because you're gonna get your spot back. Like, they're gonna wherever you're at, when the yellow comes out, you're gonna get your spot back. So at that point, it doesn't matter what you do, blocking or not. Like, at least be able to tell your kids, "Hey, where to go." Right?
Yeah.
And me, I still disagree with not running radios for kids, but
Well, so here's my question, and it begs the question, right? What's the difference between a kid running radios and his parents telling him to block and him running mirrors in the car?
yeah, you
Because
could
they
still
allow mirrors.
yeah.
What's
Actually,
the
they
difference?
required everybody to have mirrors.
Mirrors.
Now your kid not looking out the windshield,
Front,
then they're doing
they're
this,
doing this.
right?
100%. What's the difference?
What's the difference at that point? Yeah.
No difference.
Here's been all races we've raced that there. They let us run radios. It was just this one, at least at the last minute, and they changed to no radios. See, and that's another thing, because then one of the once we got going, and there was a moment where we got like 3 or 4 laps in, the leaders caught Addie, and again, like I said, in the pit meeting, they were like, I asked, every parent was right there, and I let them know, "Okay, you all heard it. My nieces are gonna go low. If you're faster and you come up on a black and purple car or a pink car,
Yeah.
they're gonna go low."
Yeah.
And on the radio, they're like, Number 8, go high, go high. I'm like, nope. She didn't have the receiver. I had the receiver. So I'm telling Addie, nope. Hey, leaders are coming. Stay on the bottom. If you have to lift a little bit and roll it through the corner, let them go by you. Let them fly by you. As soon as you get on the
Yeah.
straightaway, you're clear. Get going again. Right?
Yeah.
Like here, you're telling me one thing in the pit meeting, and then 8, go high, go high. No, no, sorry, not happening. Can't even get your own. You can't even get your own rules that we decided in the pit meeting, right?
Yeah.
Or at least relay it to the official who was on the radio.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And poor Liam, it looked like personally, this is what I think. So it looked like he blew a chain. He said that he tried to get it back on, it wouldn't start or it wouldn't go or whatever, and he thought he blew a chain out of the thing. Then he's sitting down there in the infield while a caution was going on, and then fired it back up and it took off again. Personally, I think it came down to that box that he had. Maybe it
Probably.
overheated the box and then cut the
Started
car off
shooting
or
out
something.
or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shorten it out or something like that versus having the box in there that you're supposed to have, like your own
Yeah.
box, whatever.
Mhm.
That's just my speculation, but he ended up, he had to restart in the back of the field.
That
And I was trying to have both Addie and Nora like wave him by, like you're just going to be in the way and, just wave him by, but they wouldn't allow him to. So
Yeah, they were like 60 to the very
very
rear.
rear.
Guys, we don't just let him in front of her. It doesn't matter. He's gonna pass him as soon as the green flags are dropped anyway. Just
And he did.
let him be in front.
He did.
Like, whatever.
Yeah, he did.
I don't know.
But I was super proud of all of our local kids. They all did a great job. They were fast. Isaac Mead, Jackson, Liam,
You were
Madison.
in a good, competitive,
Yeah,
respectful way.
it was
right?
awesome. It was fun to watch.
Yeah. Poor Chandler again. There's a caution, and then they go red. And it wasn't even actually they went like green, caution, red. It was like green, red. And this kid he was battling with, as soon as the red flag came out, whoop,
Oh yeah, jumped on the
right in
brakes.
front of him, and he had nowhere to go. Had to spin it, and then
Yeah,
I think he hit him the door into the back rear bumper.
yeah.
But funny thing is Kyle Shusha was sitting down right next to George, which I was sitting next to George, and apparently they gave him a two-way radio. So he's able to talk back to Kyle. And I guess he must have queued up. I think he said this. He queued up to Kyle and was like, I'm just gonna go to the back and hang out with Addie and Nora.
He did. Yeah, it's so funny.
Yeah.
And he did. They all kind of raced each other in the
Yeah.
back of the pack there. Him, Nora, and there was a green 77 car too
Yeah.
that was racing with each other. So
Yeah.
it was fun to watch. And they ended up finishing. They cut it a little bit short because they hit time limit because they had a couple other wrecks, and I felt bad for Vanderwall because he got kind of taken out. Kid got up underneath him, and it looked like the 7 car washed up a little bit. I could be wrong, but it looked like he washed up a little bit and spun out Vanderwall, and unfortunate for him that kind of killed his momentum that he had going on too in that race. So, but they all did a phenomenal job this weekend. It was fun, the camaraderie and parking next to all those people and just chit chatting and enjoying it all. It was a lot of fun.
It was a good time, man. Congratulations to Jackson. He originally finished 5th, but one of the kids didn't go to Tech right away.
Mhm.
They decided they were going to go to their pit first and then go to Tech, which that's a big no-no. So they disqualified that car for that. And so
And Isaac finished 5th.
Yeah, everybody got to move up. So Jackson ended up finishing 4th, and then Isaac Mead ended up getting 5th. So congratulations to those two for their top 5 finishes, and everybody. I mean, I know Madison didn't end up finishing the race, but she showed a lot of speed, was very racy in that race and making moves. I think she at one point I can't remember where she started, but she was making her way up the field before she got in that accident. So just proud of all the kids because they deserve a lot of praise for. I mean, that's a big track. The girls had called it their Daytona. I mean, that's a big track for them. Those small cars, and how fast they're going. I mean, it is. They're full throttle around the whole way, and, they even said on the radio during qualifying, "Do not get tucked in behind another car and draft. You will be
Yeah.
disqualified from qualifying, or
Yep.
your qualifying lap will not count."
Yep.
So they literally made every car, and they only put 5 cars on the track, I think, at a
Same for
time.
the Legends. They
Yeah,
did the
and they
same thing
made
for the
them
Legends.
they made 'em spread out just because of how the speeds are with there, so,
Yeah.
yeah, I thought that was kinda funny.
Speaking of the Legends, I mean, man, there was I forget how many of them ended up qualifying. Do you remember off the top of your head how many? Well, here I have Race Monitor.
I think
Let's.
24 started the race.
Well, that's how many started the race, but I
Oh, how
was
many
talking
actual
about how
cars
many
qualified?
qualified.
Oh,
Let's see.
high 20s, low 30s, I think.
Do,
Could be
do,
wrong.
do, do. Because
I mean,
they
there's a lot,
qualified on Friday, so they had a total of 39 that
39,
showed up,
so high
and
30s.
yeah, and Kyle Busch and his son Brexton. Brexton didn't race his Bando this weekend. He just raced in the Legend car. But Wyatt Dent was there. Austin Steinke. I'm just kind of going quickly through the list of people.
Langs were there,
The
Brandon Bruce.
Langs. Yep. Brandon Bruce was there. Our one of our homies,
Strawberry.
Tanner Scarberry.
Strawberry.
He was spotting for me all season long until I wrecked. That was a lot of fun. I was happy for him getting a chance to get back in a race car
He was
and
all
get
worried.
after it.
"I haven't driven a race car in so long, I don't even know why I'm here." It's like, "You're here to race. You're gonna do it. You're gonna make it." "I don't know." And he raced his way into the ra
He
he raced
did.
his way in.
He raced
So,
his way in.
yep.
And poor Wyatt, man, he got shuffled early. He was sitting
I
in a
wanted
position to
to get
transfer,
a 68 car.
and guy moved him, and that was all she wrote.
I told him, I was like, "You shoulda just dumped that kid. When you shoulda just gave him a receipt." He got bumped, got pushed up the track, came down the back straightaway, was getting a run on him. It
Yeah.
was almost bumper to bumper with him.
Should
I
have
was like,
used
"You
it.
shoulda just
Uh-huh.
never lifted. Even if you lifted, don't use the brake, use him as the brake and shove his ass up the track. Even you spin him out, whatever. At least that guy'll know, don't do that to me again."
He did
Right?
say it afterwards. He said he was being too nice.
Yeah. I was like,
That
"I
was
know you're young and you're trying to earn your respect, and I'm glad for that. You don't wanna be known as the dirty driver, but occasionally, once in a while, it's okay to do it. You just you just bump them, and you move them up, and you go right by them."
I see, and that's the thing is it seemed like it didn't matter. Like if you dumped somebody, whoever was the dumpee, not the dumper. That's kind of funny.
Or no, the dumpee would be the person being dumped.
Yeah,
Dumper
that's what I'm saying. But the
yeah, the
dumpee was the
dumper.
one that went to the back.
Oh, yeah, went to the back, yeah.
The
The
dumper,
dumper
you
didn't
didn't
get
get
any penalty
no penalty while you were there.
because
We
we'll
saw
talk
it in the
about that,
we
the
saw it in the
B.
modified race like crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, at that point, like just
I could
run them
wreck
over.
your way through the field, I
Yeah,
guess.
right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like
Pull a
whatever you got to
NASCAR
do to.
on your computer and just start wrecking people in the middle of a caution.
Well, and I really wanted to know, and I told Tanner to do this, and I know this is going to sound really really bad, but they said after the drivers' meeting for the INEX in the Legends cars and then the Bandos, but they said that they weren't going to scale before qualifying or after qualifying. So it brought up into my mind, I'm like, then why? I'd go pull off every ounce of lead on my car and run like 2 gallons of fuel in it, make it as light as possible, and
Yeah.
go qualify. Because all you got to do is just make the show. I thought it was stupid on their part for not teching them before, at least before.
So I can't remember who it was that told me this, but they said normally that's what they do anyway, but they will randomly pull a car as it's coming off the track from qualifying. They'll randomly go you to tech, right? It's just a random pick, like just you go to tech. They didn't even have the scales set up yet.
Yeah.
So it was like, well, they ain't going to be doing that because if they don't have the scales set up yet, then yeah, that totally should have done that.
And I wonder how many of them went back and did that.
They're, I don't, I don't know.
I don't know. That begged the question. I was like, what are you going to do to prevent somebody from doing that too?
Right.
Like going at like, fuck it, pulling all the lead off my car. I'm going to be, 50, 75, 200 pounds lighter, whatever it is,
Yeah.
and go out there and try to make the race.
Yeah. Because just as a point of reference, the fact that we couldn't run radios, right? Usually you run a receiver. So when we're running radios, Addie, her radio had fallen off or wasn't working, or something was going on. It was beeping in her ear or
Too
something like
loud
that.
or whatever.
I had to run over into staging before she went out to qualify and switch her radio. And so at that point, it was like, well, we were worried that since we were running a radio, that we were going to get caught, right? Because we figured, well, we'll hide it so like they don't see it, and then
Fucking
we should
bad.
be fine. But the officials in staging, they're just there to help stage. They have no idea what's going on with the rules, anything like that. They're just there to help direct cars, right? So at that point, yeah, it's not like they're going to look in the car and be like, "Oh, this car doesn't have any weight in it,"
Yeah.
right? So yeah, who cares?
Yeah,
Go for it.
I just thought it was very interesting that they decided not to scale at least before
After.
qualifying.
I-
I would say before, because
Yeah,
what does it matter afterwards? Like to me, it doesn't matter. Like if
no.
as long as you roll over the scales, just like you do everywhere else, any sort of tour race that we've ever been to,
Could
y-
have that
y-
old cheater dump box where you got that little compartment underneath your ass that you just
lead pellets.
you pull the little lever and a lead pellets go running out of your car into the bottom of the track. And all of a sudden you're like 150 pounds light.
Oh, but yeah, poor Wyatt, he didn't make the race. Yeah, Tanner, he raced his little ass into the show. I was proud of him. He did a great job, and
Is it
um,
Maddie Lang that's in the 21?
I think she's in the 12. I think it was.
Is that
Let me look
Pat
at it.
in the
Let me look
21?
at it.
She was like right in a transfer spot, and then it was like 2 laps left in their heat or
Oh
their
yeah, so she was in the 21. Maddie was in the
Maddie's
21,
in the
and
21,
Brianna was in the 12.
the
Yeah,
12. Yeah. She was like 2 laps away from making it, and that 68 passed her. It was
yeah.
just like, oh, damn it.
Yeah, because she
Damn it.
finished right behind Wyatt in the B main, and they
Oh,
both
that's
they
why it
both
ended up
missed it.
getting by her. That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah. But she was in a transfer spot up until like the last layout, like couple laps, and it was just like,
yeah,
oh shit.
yeah. And then in the second one, Tanner finished second, and that was the only Colorado. Oh, well, and Brianna Bruce, no, she was in the 12. They had him. They haven't messed up. She was in the 21, I do believe, because yeah, Brianna I think was in the 12. They haven't messed up on receiver. They have her down twice as the 21 and the 12. But anyways,
Damn receivers.
I know, damn receivers. It's
Or
confusing as
race
shit.
monitor, I should say. Well,
um,
there was a lot of stuff wrong with their transponders because there was a couple of modifieds that didn't get their laps, at least during practice and stuff. They didn't show up on race monitor or race pass. And then I think there was a couple other cars that didn't. They were just like, okay, they're out on the track, but they're not pulling up on race monitor or
yeah,
race. That's kind of
yeah,
weird. I don't know what was going on there, but
yeah. Because we rented them from them because we don't have any transponders in the girls' cars. Uh, but yeah, there was a few people that had issues more or less. Anyways, getting into the A main, pretty good race. I mean, I thought it was, it's typical Legends racing, so you're thinking it's just going to be a complete shit show, but they didn't. They went how many laps there? Green flag.
and I didn't for the first time go, oh my god, are they going to run green to checkered? No, they ran a lot of laps under green, and then really there was only a couple just people,
Well, the
battling
first no,
out.
sorry, it was within like the first couple laps. There was somebody that got up in the wall, and then they went green.
Yeah,
Remember?
they were
Yeah,
green for a while, and
yeah,
then
they
I think
went.
it was like 5 to go, They had a couple of cautions, and they had a green, white checkered,
Mhm.
I do believe. But it really wasn't anything kinda like we've seen at CNS before where it's like, "Oh, shit, there's the first caution, here we go.
Yeah.
How many cautions are we gonna have after this?" It didn't happen. I think they had 1, maybe 2 after
Yeah.
that caution with 5 to go, and I think one of them was just because of a restart. I think somebody missed a shift or something, kinda stacked them up a little bit, and a couple of them spun out. But other than that, I think they finished under green, so
Mhm.
that was good.
Yeah, and uh, little Austin Steinke, he got moved out of the way, and he lost like 8 positions.
Oh, yeah. He
Remember
was up
that?
there too.
He
He
was
was in
running
the
the
top
top
10.
10. Yeah.
Yeah, and he got put on the outside and got freight trained, and
But
it
then he
was
drove back. Then he drove his way back up into the I think he ended up finishing like 11th or something like that. Let me look. 11th, yeah. He ended up finishing 11th. Um, but yeah, I think he fell back to like 15th or 16th at one point.
Mhm.
Um, oh yeah, it was a rough race for him because he was pretty fast all weekend long.
Yeah,
Um, good job by him and him and his mom and his dad and that whole
mhm,
crew and working hard on them race cars. They did a good job.
yeah.
Um, and watching uh, watching Kyle Busch and Brexton Busch all weekend long because they were parked 2 down from us,
Yeah,
right?
they were right next to the Stanleys.
Yeah, right next to the Stanleys, 3 down from us, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't think they didn't say 2 words to anybody the whole weekend. I mean, they
I
just they just kept to themselves.
I think Kyle Busch came over and said something to Madison. I know there was a picture, um, Wyatt got a picture with him. I thought I saw a picture of Madison with him as well, but I did see someone, Chris Mueller, maybe it was Chris, maybe Enola had posted that Jackson got a picture with him, but I feel like he came over and said something to Madison after the race, but I could be wrong. I know the Stanleys are watching, so let us know if he did or not.
Yeah.
I thought I saw something where he came over and had said something to her and checked on her or something, but
Well, and this is just gonna be pure speculation, but this is what I had heard, is that some kid went up to go ask Brexton for his autograph, and he asked to charge him $10 for it. That's what I had heard.
yeah, if that's true, then that's
That's shitty.
yeah.
But I don't know. That's just what I heard is that Brexton was charging $10 to give autographs, but I don't know if that's true or not. I hope
Mhm.
not. I absolutely hope not, but that's what I heard.
Yeah. Cody, we were asking if Kyle Busch came over and checked on Madison after the race. So if you're listening again, she said she walked away. Sorry, but yeah,
Um,
I expected better out of Kyle and at least Kyle. I know Brexton, he's just being in
mhm.
the legends for the first couple of times this year. I mean, he was still competitive. He was racing pretty good, but I expected Kyle to be more of a top 3 car, and he really wasn't.
No.
Really wasn't.
He had decent speed, but not winning speed.
No, he did not. Okay.
No.
Fucking
Oh.
Kyle Busch.
Uh, yeah,
So his wife, Samantha, we didn't see her all weekend until Saturday.
like
Maybe
midday.
yeah, like maybe a couple hours before the races started. And she had this couple, I'm assuming some friends, with her that you could tell they didn't belong on a racetrack. Maybe they go to races with her or something, or especially
Well,
when they come to Vegas.
they're
But they
used to a
look
different level
yeah,
racetrack.
maybe. But they look like they were going out on a very expensive night on the Las Vegas Strip, and it was just like, "You don't belong here, do you? Definitely tell you are not redneck, because that whole outfit probably costs more than these 2 bandits."
Well, and I love all of our friends, like our friends group that was right there. But like all of us dads, right? Mueller, Ben, me, the 7 car that was across from them, Like all of us, we were sweating our ass off. We're full of dirt. I got
Yeah.
fucking grease all over my face. And then Kyle Bish is over there like lickety clean.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like we're
Right.
we're over there busting our ass all weekend long.
Yeah.
And he's over there. It didn't even look like he picked up a wrench all
Yeah.
day.
Well, and it like, 'cause we had bought some scooters, like we said, to make it easier to go around, and, we had to pass them to go over to the stand so we could watch everything. So, like, every time you kinda go by, you just kinda peek over to see, A,
What
what
they're
they're doing
doing.
to their cars, and then if
Yeah.
they're standing there. And Brixton was kinda he had some group of friends that I think were running legends and bandos that he was, like, hanging out with, doing stuff with. But the only time you really saw Kyle Busch was, like, right before he got in the car, kinda, like, right after, but then you never saw him. It's
That
like,
was it.
is he just sitting in his trailer, sitting on a chair, hanging out, or did he, like, I guess I'll come back when I'm ready, when it's practice time or something, but yeah, you didn't really see a look at him much unless it was, like, right before practice or, like, right after practice,
Yeah.
so it's kinda interesting. But I guess
Yeah.
when you're a NASCAR celebrity like that, you wanna hide away so you're not getting bombarded with people, but,
Well,
I mean,
Harvick's didn't do that. They
I
were
was gonna
out
say the Harvicks
mingling
didn't
with
do
people.
that at all. I mean, especially, like, after the races, you'd think maybe he'd stick around and maybe sign autographs and stuff. I mean, he had a whole freaking RCR truck full of his merch, like, 40 yards from his pit stall, and didn't stay after. Where the Harvicks, they both hung out until 1 o'clock in the morning, made sure everybody
Mhm.
got an autograph.
Mhm. Autograph and we're just hanging out. I
Cheers in,
mean,
man.
yeah, soon like Friday or well, even Saturday, that as soon as it was over, they were done
Gone.
and out of there. They
They
didn't
were gone.
really stick around at all. Like,
Nope,
really? You're not even gonna watch the sprint cars? Like, are you crazy?
nope. Showed
I
up to race my legend. Legend's over. I'm out.
I'm out. Deuces.
Yep.
Yeah. So I thought it was interesting. I mean,
Yeah.
to me, I would have been like, "Hell no, let's go watch this shit. This is gonna be cool."
Right.
But speaking of sprint cars, like, let's get into that really quick because
What was I
we're
say?
getting a little long-winded.
What was I gonna say? You want to do modifieds and then we'll do sprint cars.
Yeah, I mean, the modified race is kind of the same thing. I was expecting kind of a shit show, to be honest, based on the last like what 4 years, 5 years that we've watched races there in modifieds. Um, I really wasn't expecting anything other than maybe 10 of them finishing out of the 26 that started. And it really wasn't that. Like early
They
on, they had a really good race going.
they had more cautions in the B main
Yeah.
from that one girl wrecking everybody like every
Oh my
2 laps. And this is another
God.
reason why we were like, you might as well just wreck people, especially Shelby Strobel in the A main.
Oh
But it
my
was like, you
God.
might as well just wreck people to move your way up because you're not going to get sent to the back. Yeah, this I can't remember her name. Number 57 modified
Kylie
Kylie something.
Keon, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I think she wrecked 4 or 5 people in the B main. And like I grant at this track, you got to get to the bottom. It is a bottom feeder track. If you're lucky enough to hang it on the top for 1 or 2 laps and then catch an opening, you're lucky. If not, you're getting freight train. And she just tried to make herself a hole a couple of times and just, I don't care. I'm going.
Mhm.
Like that Family Guy, the Asian lady, like, oh, this is my exit. I gotta go 5 lanes. Good luck, everybody. That's what I felt like she did.
It's true, you're not lying.
Yeah.
You're not lying.
But yeah, in the A main though, it was a good race. There was a couple cautions, and um what really came down to me in that main event was when you had a caution, the choose cone.
Mhm.
You had to choose right. And I know
Mhm.
it's a bottom feeding track, so you want to be on the bottom. But if you're a car that's like eighth, seventh, I'd say sixth, seventh, eighth on back. If you have a good enough car to at least hang out in the top five, but you just aren't there because of track position, give it a chance, risk it. I mean, you're not going to gain it on the track. Uh, you might as well just go for it, right?
Mhm.
$7,500, just go for it. And there's a couple times some of the decisions by some of the Colorado drivers, it's like, oh, didn't just just do it, man. Just do it. Go out
Mhm.
there, give it a try.
Well, I
But
gave Shusho shit. Shusho shit.
now,
Shushao. I gave him shit because it wasn't the first caution, but it was the second caution where Nathan was sitting like, I think he was fourth or fifth, right? And the top 4 cars went to the bottom, and that would have left the open lane for the front row to be up top. And he didn't do it. And I was like, oh shit. He admitted after the race, him and I were walking back from the stands. He's like, yeah, I made the call. He's like, I should have sent him up to the front row. I was like, yeah, you should have at
because
that point.
there was one point, one of the cautions that came out, he ended up being like I think 7th on the inside.
He was like he was like 6th row inside. Yeah, he was sitting
Yeah.
like
And he was the top 4 car.
yeah,
And it was just like, at that point, just go up there for the sake of,
track
hey,
position.
track position and
Yeah.
a car, you could catch a caution. Now you're back up into 4th. Now you
Fourth.
can kinda go down there and be on the inside again, but it was just like, just give it a shot, man. He did it
Well,
years ago and it worked out for him.
it did. Yeah, what was that? 3 years ago, took a
Years ago.
chance and ended
Yep.
up finishing
Like,
the
he was around
top
8th,
10. Yeah.
and then nobody went up there except for 2nd place, and he went up there and went from 8th to 4th, and 2 laps later, got a gap, went right back down, and he finished 4th.
Mhm. And he had a good enough car. Do I think it was I don't know if he might have been able to win it but I think he had he been in the position, he would have been close.
I don't
Really
'cause
close.
Tellstrom and who's that 11 car?
Dylan Capello.
Capello. They wasted their stuff there
Yeah.
those last couple laps. You could
Yeah.
tell they were holding on for dear life. They were just racing as hard as possible to just keep the positions, and I think Nathan had a little bit left. Had he maybe made one of those moves to get up
Early.
front
Yeah.
earlier and be up in there to where, okay, now you're 3rd, you're gonna be with these guys on these restarts. So, go for it. I think he probably coulda had a chance at it.
Chance
Now,
at it, right. Chance
you
at it.
never know if it would have happened or not, but it woulda gave yourself the best chance possible, and I think
Because
Nathan did enough
especially when
there.
they went single file at
Mhm.
the end, I think had he been in a better
Oh, yeah.
position when they did that, that
Oh,
would
yeah.
have
100%.
been it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because yeah, he on restarts, he was pretty good. He spun the tires once, and that
Yeah,
hurt him a little bit.
that was, yeah, because that was the ensuing caution after that was when he
Mhm.
ended up starting, like, yeah, like 6th row or something like that because he
Right.
spun coming off
S
spun the
spun the
tires coming off
tires.
4.
But then after that, he was really good on restarts
Yeah. Yeah.
and gained a couple positions. Because yeah, then he ended up battling his way back up to the 4th position from like 7th or 8th or something like
Mhm.
that. So,
Yeah.
but it was a good race. I was
I was
half
very Go ahead.
I was saying I was half expecting to see McMorrin run away with it again because he was stupid fast in practice and qualifying, and
Mhm.
you're like, man, this guy's gonna fucking just blast everybody again.
Oh,
And that wasn't the case.
yeah.
I mean, he got ran over.
Yeah.
He got ran over, and that was a bullshit move.
Mhm.
And he was pissed, and rightfully so. But he got sent to the back, and the guy who blasted him, nothing came of it.
Shelley Strobel.
Yeah, and Strobel, he ran over like 3 or 4 people the entire race. Like, he was just sending it and using
Mhm.
people as brakes.
I think they ended up one time sending him to the back because I think he spun out avoiding an accident or avoiding a caution, and they sent him to the back. I do believe because he ended up being in toward the back and raced his way back up, but it was like on the way up there, he took like 2
Running.
or 3 more
Yeah,
cars out.
dumped like 3 people, and you're
Yeah.
like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Is he just gonna work his way back up by dumping people and then
Yep.
stacking up the field to try and give
Yep, won't
himself
go to the outside on a restart.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, what the hell?
Yeah.
That part was kind of to me, it was like
Which is funny though, because I don't know if they said this in the other drivers meeting, but in the Legend and Bando meeting, they specifically said, if you are involved in any way, whether you are the causer, the you know,
recipient or the
recipient,
yeah,
or if you're trying to avoid it and spin yourself out,
go to the
you are
back.
now considered a part of it, you go to the back.
Mhm.
So I am surprised that that wasn't a rule for the other classes, or at least
Yeah.
the modifieds especially.
Yeah, because there was a few times I'm like, "There's no way they're not gonna send Strobel to the back," and they didn't. I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, so that's how this race is gonna go.
Yeah.
Okay."
Yeah. Nathan, just start using the bumper,
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
Bumpers out of the way and make you go up to the front. Yeah.
Yeah. Just run them over, bro. Just
Yeah.
run them over.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun to see. Great representation from
Say super proud of the Colorado drivers,
yeah.
all of them. I mean, Scotty Scott didn't make it because of the engine issue, but I think all the Colorado drivers made the A main.
Yeah, Cade,
Cade was
Ryan
in it,
Jones, John
Ryan Jones,
Seeley,
Seeley,
um,
Nathan, obviously.
Nathan,
Um,
and there was one more. Who was it?
gosh dang it,
Oh, Eric Reed.
Eric Reed. Yeah.
Eric Reed.
Yep.
And he was disappointed in himself. He thought he was going to be in a really good position this year. He said he just missed the mark this year, and it's really hard. I mean, the competition there is super stiff. A lot of good shoes, a lot of good race cars. You gotta be on it, and that's not an easy place to get around either.
Mhm.
It's not like CNS at all. Totally different ball game.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, super proud of those guys. They did an awesome job. It was fun to watch.
Mhm.
All right, sprint car time.
Sprint cars. You
Sprint
watched more
cars.
than I did. I was dying.
Well, the B main. Like let's talk about poor Adam Hilton.
Oh god, that car was hooked up.
Well, so first, what was it? First lap or second lap? He sent it 4 wide going down the
Well,
backstretch.
so there was a reason he sent it four wide is because
Oh
on the
yeah.
start, Sammy Swindell for some reason just decided, nope, you ain't getting by me on the inside, motherfucker. And he sent him all the way down into the inside of the track.
Mhm.
And Adam was like, no, you old son bitch, you ain't doing that to me. 4 fucking wide coming out of turn 2. Oh man, that was because I mean he dropped back and then all of a sudden he just hammered on throttle. Woo,
Yeah.
4 wide going down the middle of the back straight. It was like, holy shit, that
Uh,
car's hooked up.
I mean, my butt puckered watching that.
Oh
And
yeah.
then as soon as that happened, like a couple cars back from them, they wadded up 4 or 5 of them, and they were stacked on top of each other, literally on the
Yeah.
backstretch. So it took them about
Forever.
30 minutes or so to
Yeah.
get that cleaned up.
Yeah. It
But
took forever to get that cleaned up.
then once they got back on green again, um, Adam was battling with the guy and got to his inside and looked like the guy just lost it, hammered down on the throttle coming off the corner and just
Got
straight turn
sideways
left.
and clipped his right rear and just unfortunate, wrong place at the wrong time. I know you're
Yeah.
trying to make a pass and you don't expect it, and then the guy just I mean, it's not like the guy intentionally did it or anything, but it just sucks that here you're just making a nice pass and all of a sudden just like, oh shit, there's the wall. You
And
know?
that's the worst position to get,
Mhm.
you know,
Get
right
hooked
right reared.
before. Yeah. Just a shitty incident. Um, and like I said, he it looked like he had the car hooked up pretty good because I even talked to him. Was that yesterday? Was it last night? Yeah, I think it was last night. I had called him talking about some stuff, and he was saying he's like, yeah, I finally was able to kind of give my team uh, a better sense of what I'm feeling, what I need, anything like that. And they made some great changes. And he was like, those little bit of laps I had, that car was way different than the last couple days, especially qualifying. He's like, had I had that car during qualifying, he's like, we wouldn't have been in the position we would have been in. He's
Yeah.
like, we would have been more up front, either in the B main or even have made the A main. And it's just like,
And it sucks because, like you just said, you got to be on your A game right from the get-go, really. And then once you finally figure it out and you just get in unfortunate situation
mm,
and then you're out of the race and then it's done. Your weekend's over with. Some people that were stupid fast and they just get caught up in something or Davey Hamilton, right? Like power steering let loose on his car. He drove from the B main, won the B main, made it all the way up to what was he running, like 6th or 7th or something like that in the A main. And then 3, 4 laps to go, the power steering let loose, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
Game over.
Yep.
So I mean, it sucks. It's you work on that thing, and we know how hard they worked on that thing to get that thing ready to go.
Well, yeah.
And then you finally figure it out, and then boom, night's over because you got right reared by somebody.
All right.
So
At least they had brake fluid.
yeah.
For
That was really
everybody that
funny.
didn't watch the show before the showdown, because we didn't obviously have our show last Tuesday, but Chris Cox was sitting in his car, just kept, "Where's the brake fluid? Where's the brake fluid?" And so,
Messing with him.
yeah, when I got in a car on Saturday to sit down and see what it felt like to be in a sprint car, which holy shit, them things are teeny on the inside. I mean, you're in there, like you're not a whole lot of room to do anything, and the way the pedals work, oh my god, my feet didn't even fit. And even Adam was like, "Yeah, I got smaller feet than you, and they still don't really even fit. I gotta kind of shove my foot in there, and it's just locked in there." And you know, he's like, "Once you get in there, though, just make sure you ask for brake fluid." Like, okay. Like, and Chris was standing there, like, "Chris, give me the damn brake fluid." It's kind of funny.
But anyways, the A main, start of the A main. I mean, they really kind of. I mean, they didn't really make a whole lot of stupid aggressive moves for the first 50. A lot of them just kind of coasted and got themselves in position. Other than Davey Hamilton, I mean, that motherfucker sent it from the very get go. And Aaron Willison, he ended up. I don't know how he bent his wing, but there was a big portion of his wing that was missing on the right front of it. And then they made it to the 50. They swapped out the whole wing, the upper wing. And so the rules were you could make any adjustment on the car you wanted. The only tire that you could change was the right rear, and that was it, and fuel it up. So once it got to the 50, you were like, okay, now it's going to be go time. And coincidentally, the 50 car, man, that dude, he was fast like all weekend long.
Which
But
we found
that's
out his car was made in 1991,
one.
and
It's
it
an
was still
old
competitive.
car.
She won the race last year,
Yeah, back to back.
back to back.
But you were kind of hoping, you know what I mean? You kind of want some parity there, more or less. Like he was stupid fast, but some of the guys that you kind of just cheer for on the regular, like Bobby Santos and Willison. I mean, I really like Willison. I think he's a badass dude. He's a badass
Mm.
driver. I was secretly pulling for him.
Well,
To
it sucks for Bobby Santos because he ended up spinning out in the early.
What a save!
Yeah, what a save, and
Holy shit!
what a job by everybody else. Because I mean, when he spun out, it was like you couldn't see shit,
Mm-mm.
and nobody wrecked nothing. But it kind of sucks for him because it was like he spun out, kept the car rolling, boom, started going again. But by that time they threw the yellow flag
Caution, yeah.
and put him into the back, and he ended up racing back up to third. So you know, hell of a job. Just you kind of wonder, like, shit, had he not had to go from the back to the front, what could have happened?
Right. And like I said, I think clean air played a huge part in that because then once they got into um, lap traffic a little bit, the pace obviously definitely slows down. But even still, they didn't get bunched up. Like the top 3, 4 didn't end up catching each other. They kind of kept their distance that whole time, which I thought was very surprising. But when it was clean air, I mean, the fucking leader just set sail, and you're like, man, this is, and maybe that was the point, right? Like when you're out in clean air like that, you try to just get the biggest lead that you can because once you hit dirty air, you never know what could happen at that point.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but it was so much fun to watch those things. I mean, again, it's hard to put into words and perspective of how fast they are actually moving.
Well, like I said, had get like a Doppler radar over top of the track to see how the wind is affecting just the Doppler
Yeah.
radar. Because I mean, shit, after a while, it's like I'm freezing my ass off just because of how much wind they're blowing around that track. I'm like, I gotta go get my damn sweatshirt and jacket on or get a heated blanket or something. I was freezing my ass off.
Yeah, it was awesome. Like I
Oh,
thought that
I know.
the whole weekend was phenomenal. It's little of stuff. They repainted the racetrack every night.
Every morning.
Every day. That
Mhm,
place was completely spotless. They had people coming and emptying the trash cans like all day long.
mhm.
Like it was absolutely first class, the entire event, I
Yep.
would say.
Oh,
So
100%. And minus being yelled at for going in the wrong direction on a scooter, I thought all the officials, all of the track crew, everybody was doing a fantastic job, and they were so nice. Um, I mean, you needed something, "Hey, over here, okay, okay,
mhm.
yeah, we got you." You know, um, thankfully, they had INX had brought a trailer of parts to over too, so at least
Thank
he had
God.
something to, yeah, thank God, to get some parts too, but, it was clean ran, you knew where you needed to go, you knew how things were gonna run, and it just felt smooth,
Mhm.
right? Whereas, there was some times where, time adjustment things happen, but they did a great job making sure it was communicated and
Mhm.
not just at a last second, like, "Oh, hey, bandos, you're supposed to practice at 12, let's see, 1:30. We're gonna move you up to 11:30." You know what I mean? And it's like
Mhm.
11:20, right?
Mhm.
It's like, there was nothing like that. It was, "Oh, hey, just by the way, we're running 20 minutes early. Make sure you guys are ready to go
Yeah.
because you're not gonna be at 11:30, you're gonna be at, like, 11:10,
Right.
okay, just because we're already ahead of schedule."
Right.
So, yeah, I thought the whole show was great. I mean,
The atmosphere,
the
like
atmosphere, everything.
everything about it was
Mhm.
top notch. They added the big screen down on the front stretch this year, which I thought was a nice touch.
Yeah.
So fans could get to watch kind of the broadcast too as it was going on, and it brought some entertainment. I think during the downtime of the
Mhm.
races, especially in the dog days of practice, those
Mhm.
2 days straight of practice, it definitely was a lot of fun.
Right.
Um, in comparison to like other places that we've been to, I would definitely say Vegas, the facility overall. I mean, it is. Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, I think uh, atmosphere snowball is number one by far. Um, Nothing can top the snowball derby, I don't think, as far as atmosphere goes. Now, facility wise, I think Owasso and Vegas are like right there with each other.
Yeah.
The tech barn for Owasso is obviously way
Phenomenal.
phenomenal,
Yeah.
but the racetrack and the facility itself and how it's ran and how easy access everything is, I mean, yeah.
I will say this, and this isn't even just, like, something I'm dogging. I was surprised because the last time I had gone to Vegas, I mean, the whole like, where the sprint cars were, that whole area, and then right next to them, or on the north side of them, the where they had all those trailers and semi trucks and
Mhm,
stuff, they had it walled and fenced off. That wasn't there. You could park more haulers there.
mhm.
So I'm surprised, especially when you knew 70 sprint cars were signed up, 50 modifieds, like
Yeah,
40,
200 plus cars.
300, probably 300 cars are signed up, that you didn't maybe move some of those trailers, like, down further and then just
Mhm.
move the wall down to open up a little bit more space to possibly get more haulers in right there.
Yeah,
So that, and again, I'm not saying that there was anything wrong with it, but I'm just surprised to make more room
yeah.
that they didn't think of that. But
I I wanna
that
bring
that
up
was the only
this.
thing is that it was jammed in the pits, and they made you know it because we didn't take a trailer. We just had my truck, and everything was in the back of my truck, so we unloaded, created our pit, but we had to drive the truck in every day, and they're like, "You don't have your pass." I'm like, "I was never given one." So, "Well, you need to make sure you're parked right where your stuff is because, we got a lot of haulers in here." They're like, "Hey, don't worry, I'm gonna park right where my spot is, and I ain't going anywhere else, trust me."
Well, and hats off to Kyle Ray for taking the bandos down there. So thank you, Kyle, again for hauling those 2 little cars down in your stacker trailer. But that was to say that was probably the only bad part was there was no other options as far as access to get in there other than the one way in, one way out, and
Yeah.
we were completely on the other side. So it was a fucking haul to get in there and to get out of there every single day.
Yeah.
But I do want to bring up this comment really quick before we end the show, because I got a chance to talk to Davey Hamilton. Actually, I should have fucking interviewed him, and I didn't do it. So
There
I
was a couple
apologize.
times that we should have done it and we just didn't.
Didn't. So I apologize, but I had a nice conversation with him. He was talking to Chris Mueller, and I kind of just walked up and introduced myself and kind of was chit chatting with him a little bit. So it's funny that you bring this up. What do you guys think could be done differently to pack those stands in more? I think you give it over to Davey Hamilton, and he brought that up when I was sitting there talking to him about letting him promote it more for the general admission side than the physical racer side.
Yeah.
Because they do all the promotion from the Las Vegas end of things for the general admission side. I think there could be more done for that, because unless you had a pit pass, there was nothing really else there for the fans' sake. Like they had the t-shirt rig
Yeah, they
and
had the
stuff,
RTR hauler, and then Swindell had his own T-shirt thing, and then they
t-shirt
moved
thing.
the Open Wheel Showdown merch trailer over there, but they only had so much stuff for merch for the Open Wheel Showdown, and a lot of people bought stuff on Thursday and Friday, where they didn't really have a whole lot left for Saturday, and majority of the general public showed up Saturday.
Yeah.
So
Which I think that would be just the biggest thing is, for them, they didn't do a whole lot of pre-sale tickets. Like you start that process, like, it's going to happen next year, right? Like, hey, start buying your tickets now and have a package deal and, have maybe some more event style stuff for fans. Maybe have a car show on Thursday night to try and bring people in, or Friday night, right? Like afterwards, hey, we're going to have a car show after the races. Stick around for that. And, it's just little things.
well, in the last 50 laps, it didn't look like there was that many fans in the stands because it got cold, and then with that one accident, it
Yeah.
took forever to clean up. But the start of that sprint car race, those stands were packed. I mean, it was packed, even in that south little grandstand, and then people standing around the fences. It was packed, but after a while, it just got kind of cold, and I think with that accident, it just kind of like got a little late, and everybody was getting tired.
Yeah.
So it didn't look like it at the end of the race that there was that many fans, but it was still pretty packed.
Well, and to the point, I know that, they had some like autograph sessions with like the Hamiltons and stuff
Mhm.
over with where fans could have access to get that, autographs and pictures and stuff.
Mhm.
I think you need to open that up more to a lot of the other drivers.
Right.
Especially the sprint cars. I mean, that's the biggest show.
Mhm.
But, hey, you guys, before your guys' race and 2 hours before, we're going to have you guys behind the grandstands signing autographs for everybody.
Right.
That those kind of little things I think would go a long way is to help
Like maybe
ticket
right
sales.
kind of before the B main started for the modifieds. Hey, we're gonna have the A main, the for sure in A main drivers. You're gonna go over and be under the grandstands signing autographs until after the B main is
Right.
over or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Or once the supermod race is over with, you guys can be done.
Right.
Whatever. But
Yeah.
I think during the B mains that would probably be suffice because you don't want people to miss the A mains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, you don't really want them to miss the B main at the sprint car show either because you're trying to watch who's going to race their way in. But,
Yeah.
There's still going to be some sort of time when the grandstands are open and actually have them do it. So someone's not going to get watched because of it, and that's totally fine because there's still going to be fans watching regardless.
Regardless.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That was great.
Yeah, it was great. I thought it
And
was awesome.
and just real quick, th- since the Nellis Air Force Base was right there, I mean, they were doing
Oh,
maneuvers all day Thursday,
yeah.
all day Friday. I think they did a little bit Saturday morning, but right where when the races were about to start, they quit. But I mean, holy shit, them things were awesome to watch. That was just another added thing.
Yeah.
Kind of sucked when you're trying to talk to people though, and these freaking things come zipping over, and you can't even hear your own
I
head
mean,
talk, let alone
I mean, they're right above the racetrack. These jets. I mean, they'd come flying over and they're twisting and turning and putting on smoke shows, and you're like, "Whoa, this
when we
is a event inside of an event."
when we showed up Wednesday to unload, one of them had gone like, I mean, they're maybe 50 feet above our head, and he went by so fast and so low. I think it set off every car alarm in the parking lot. It was hilarious.
Well, and there was a couple times you like do one of these numbers, you're like,
Oh,
"Damn."
yeah,
Yeah.
kind of like in the Top Gun Maverick when
Yeah.
he takes off at the beginning of the movie and it like pulls that roof off that building. Like you're kind of like, oh shit, is that gonna pull a couple of like canopies in the air? God damn.
Yeah, it was awesome. I highly recommend anybody who, it's one thing to watch it on TV, and I'm so glad that they get an opportunity to like broadcast it. But if you get a chance to go down there and go check it out, highly, highly, highly recommend it. It is an amazing show. They did a phenomenal job. Davey Hamilton, the whole crew down there, it was fucking great. The fact that they added the kids this year was super thankful for that. Um, yeah, it would definitely, we definitely want to go back, whether we take the modifieds with us or just bandos again. I definitely want to go back to that event.
Yeah. And if you go, because Wednesday when we got there, the amount of walking we did, I was like, seeing everybody with an electric scooter, I was like, I'm getting me a goddamn electric scooter. So as soon as we got home, we ate dinner. I was like, I'm going to Walmart because it's like half mile down the road, which that Walmart, I felt very out of place. I walked in, grabbed what I wanted, put it in the buggy, had my hand on it, paid for it, and I walked right out. But it was a very useful tool to have because when you needed to go somewhere quick or all the way across on the other side, it made it very easy to get there without having to stress yourself of walking all day. Because I know I could use it, but at the same time, it just makes everything a lot easier.
Well, and I know Johnny, but we kind of just touched on this. So are we going to race the mods there next year? I was actually supposed to race a modified this year. I know I didn't make an announcement about that at all, but I was supposed to drive Kenton Gross's other car. He had called me like a week or so right after the season was over here locally and wanted to know if I could drive their backup car, and just logistics didn't work out and we couldn't make it work. But I was really excited to get an opportunity to possibly race down there this year. But I think next year, regardless, if I don't know if we'd take both modifieds, but we more than likely would take one. I think it's kind of like one of those circle on your calendar type ones,
Right.
snowball derby, this one. It's one of those big events that you definitely want to be a part of regardless. Like it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. We had thought about when we kind of figured when we found out he wasn't going to be able to drive that car. We had kind of put the thought of maybe taking my car out, but with needing to get his car paid for being built, um, I mean, just the amount of cost it was going to be to not only haul the car out there, but tires, fuel, everything else,
Plus the
you know,
bandos,
plus the
like it.
bandos, I mean, the pit passes alone and everything. It was like it was going to take a good chunk out of our budget for getting his car built. So it was like let's not race that car. Let's just park it for the year and race the bandos and get ready to get his car finished and back home because it's going to come up here pretty close to getting it back. And look for the start of next year to start off on a good note, and then figure out what we're going to do next year for
Yeah.
next year. So,
Yeah.
yeah, things are still up in the air of out of town racing for next year. I mean, like George said, like Snowball, maybe this one, um, with the tour, Midwest Modified Tour not running anymore. We're hoping that the hot shoe doesn't go away, but um, the fact that the tour went away because Rex Wheeler and Wheeler Trucking pulled their kind of racing expenses out of their budget. We don't know because the hot shoe is kind of really funded this last couple years at Owasso by Rex Wheeler, but you never know. They could have other sponsors that could jump in, but there's no for sure hot shoe yet. They haven't made any announcements or anything like that, but um, we'll see kind of at the beginning of the year because usually they start posting stuff beginning of the year. But at least Vegas and possibly Snowball are ones that we'll look into, at least for out of town racing for either one of us. I think this one, this one, I think I'm this way. Yeah, I think you're this. Are you this way? Because I'm
Yeah.
running backwards.
Yeah.
This one would probably run Snowball, and I'll do Vegas. But who knows? We might
We'll
take
see.
both cars to Vegas, and one car to Snowball, and he can do the Snowball.
I
So
don't know.
yeah,
We'll figure something out.
we'll figure it out.
Either way, you'll see us at CNS next year.
Yes, both cars.
So, anyways, thank you all for tuning in. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed that, getting a chance to talk to some behind the scenes about the Open Wheel Showdown. Again, it was a phenomenal event. Really looking forward to heading back there because they made that announcement that it's going to happen next year again. So, yeah, really looking forward to that. We're going to try and continue getting some more of the championship drivers on. We're going to take the next few weeks and get through all of them, and then we're going to call it a season. So we'll make the announcement on social media who we're going to have on next. I think we're going to try and reach out to Brandon Newey, but we haven't reached out to him yet. But we're going to try and maybe have him on next week. So stay tuned. We'll let you guys know. And if not, figure something else out. So thank you all for tuning in. I really appreciate it and look forward to next week. So I'll pass over to him for closing thoughts.
I mean, I think I said all I had to say. It was a great week. Good to see everybody, hang out with everybody. For what 3 or 4 days,
Yep.
and have some fun watching racing. I mean, for us being a racing family and being around the racing community, there's nothing more fun than being at a racetrack, watching some kids race, watching some good racing on other divisions and stuff that you normally don't see at CNS, aka the sprint cars and the super mods. And we learned our lesson of where not to stay in Las Vegas. It wasn't like it was terrible, but it just,
A little sketchy.
it was a little sketchy, right? When you don't know of the area until you find out firsthand, then you know for next time. So no, we know next time we'll go more north or northeast, or however the
Try to stay at the racetrack next time.
yeah, maybe we'll just get a motorhome and stay at the racetrack. Yeah, next year.
Yeah.
But other than that, great time and looking forward to it again next year, and looking forward to maybe talking to Brandon Newey next week.
Yep. So thank you all for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe, do all the things, and we'll see you guys next week. So thanks, everybody.
Good night.